Odysseus was intelligent enough to defeat monsters, escape impossible traps, and survive the anger of the gods. He helped end the Trojan War with one of the most famous strategies in history. Yet after Troy fell, it took him another 10 years to reach a home that should have been only weeks away. The greatest obstacle was not the sea, the monsters, or even Poseidon. It was the part of Odysseus that needed everyone, even his enemies, to know his name. In ancient Greek thought, excessive pride was known as hubris. It was more dangerous than ordinary confidence. Hubris appeared when someone became so convinced of his own greatness that he forgot the limits separating mortals from gods. Odysseus had good reasons to be confident. He was not the strongest Greek warrior, but he may have been the most intelligent. When brute force failed, he survived through deception, patience, and strategy. His mind helped the Greeks win a war that had lasted 10 years, but victory taught him a dangerous lesson. It convinced him that his intelligence could overcome anything. That belief was tested when Odysseus and his men entered the cave of Polyphemus, a giant cyclops. When Polyphemus returned, he sealed the entrance with a massive stone and began devouring the trapped sailors. Odysseus could not defeat him through strength. Killing the Cyclops would not help because only Polyphemus was strong enough to move the stone blocking the exit. So Odysseus created a plan. He offered Polyphemus wine and told him that his name was Nobody. Once the Cyclops became drunk and collapsed, Odysseus and his men drove a sharpened wooden stake into his single eye. Polyphemus screamed for help. The other Cyclops asked who was attacking him, and he answered that nobody was hurting him. Believing that no attacker existed, they left him alone. The next morning, Polyphemus opened the cave to release his sheep. Odysseus tied his surviving men beneath the animals, allowing them to pass beneath the blinded Cyclops' hands. The plan worked. They reached their ship and escaped toward open water. It should have been a perfect victory. Polyphemus could not see them. He did not know their identities, their homeland, or where they were going. Odysseus had defeated a monster stronger than himself without revealing who he was. But survival was not enough. As the ship sailed away, Odysseus shouted back across the sea. His men begged him to remain silent, but he wanted the Cyclops to know who had defeated him. He announced his real name, his father's name, and his home in Ithaca. Odysseus gained the recognition he wanted and gave his enemy everything needed to destroy him. Polyphemus was not merely a monster. He was a son of Poseidon, god of the sea. Knowing the identity of his attacker, the Cyclops prayed for revenge. He asked his father to prevent Odysseus from ever reaching home. If Odysseus had to return, Polyphemus prayed that he would arrive late, alone, broken, and surrounded by suffering. Poseidon heard him. Odysseus had escaped the Cyclops, but his pride ensured that the Cyclops could still shape his future. One unnecessary declaration turned a successful escape into a divine curse. Pride did not create every disaster that followed. Odysseus's crew repeatedly disobeyed him. The gods pursued their own rivalries. Storms, hunger, temptation, and fate all played their parts. But the same pattern continued. Odysseus repeatedly moved toward dangers that other men were forbidden to experience because he believed that he could approach them and remain in control. When his ship passed the Sirens, creatures whose song lured sailors to their deaths, Odysseus could have blocked his own ears like everyone else. Instead, he wanted to hear what no ordinary man could survive. He ordered his crew to tie him to the mast while they filled their ears with wax. This time, Odysseus recognized his weakness well enough to restrain himself, but the desire remained. He still needed to hear the forbidden song. He still believed that danger could become knowledge if he was clever enough to control it. His leadership also depended on secrecy. When Aeolus gave him a bag containing the winds that could drive his ship away from Ithaca, Odysseus guarded it personally, but failed to secure the trust of his crew. Believing that their king was hiding treasure, the sailors opened it while he slept. The released winds hurled them back across the sea. The crew was responsible for opening the bag, but the disaster revealed how far Odysseus stood from the men he commanded. He trusted his own control more than their understanding. Eventually, every ship was destroyed and every companion was lost. Odysseus, who had departed Troy as a victorious king, reached Ithaca alone. exhausted, and almost unrecognizable. Yet the final stage of his journey revealed that he had changed. When Odysseus escaped from Polyphemus, he ruined his victory by revealing his identity too early. When he returned to Ithaca, he survived by doing the opposite. He disguised himself as a poor beggar. He entered his own kingdom without announcing who he was. He allowed people to insult and underestimate him. Instead of demanding immediate recognition, he observed the palace, tested the loyalty of those around him, controlled his anger, and waited for the correct moment. The younger Odysseus needed his defeated enemy to know his name. The returning Odysseus understood that intelligence sometimes meant remaining silent. He regained his home only after learning to hide the identity he once shouted across the sea. Odysseus did not spend 10 years lost because he was foolish. His greatest strength and his greatest weakness came from the same place. His mind could escape almost any trap, but his pride kept creating new ones. The monsters made his journey dangerous. Poseidon made it cruel. His crew made fatal mistakes. But one moment of pride gave the god of the sea the power to turn a voyage home into 10 years of punishment. Odysseus conquered Troy by making sure no one saw him coming. He nearly destroyed himself because he could not bear to remain nobody.